Buenos días. Good morning. I'd just like to premise this by saying we felt that our paper was overly technical, so we did a very brief PowerPoint that just kind of geared towards giving you a whole synopsis of the project itself. My name is Abel, Crean, and I'm a general contractor and a civil engineering student at FIU. And this is my colleague, Stephanie Brown.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Brown. I go to FIU as well. So.
She's a business accounting major. So we teamed up on this, and I think it gave us like a good, broad, well-rounded perspective. So we titled our project TEMCU, Train Electromagnetico Cubano, and it's pretty much gearing towards the transportation end of infrastructure. And we just, so in electromagnetic technology, the vehicle, it's propelled by an electromagnetic pulse. It's a very efficient method of transportation. There's less wasted energy from braking. Electricity, it turns out to be a much more versatile source of energy than regular gas. Electricity can be generated in a number of ways, so it's much more versatile and not reliant on gas and ethanol. Also, it's much more efficient in the sense that if you think of the current infrastructure system of everybody having an individual automobile, and we have a coefficient of static friction of 0.8, that means that 20% of our energy is wasted just to overcome the forces of friction, which electromagnetics is not a frictionless system, but it's very minimal because the vehicle actually levitates by way of the electromagnetic field. So it's much more efficient in that sense. And also the multiple cars being pulled, it's very efficient. Accelerates and decelerates much faster than regular automobile travel. We can go up to about 300 miles an hour, and the Japanese bullet train actually goes over 300 miles an hour. We propose to use carbon frame instead of steel. Carbon, it presents some really promising future as a really high-strength material. Right now, we're still using a carbon petroleum blend, but carbon fiber, it's much stronger than steel and a lot lighter, so therefore saving fuel. Reduces carbon emissions from steel manufacturing, which actually contributes significantly, like 2–3% to global emissions annually. So. Our proposed train would run roughly east to west along the length of the island, parallel the Carretera Central, and it would go about 780 miles, 1,250 kilometers, connecting Pinar del Rio in the west and Oriente in the east. So it would also incorporate the new port of Mariel that's under construction by the Brazilian firm Odebrecht. And the purpose is that it would enable agricultural products, tobacco, coffee, sugar, all these products enable them to reach market faster, ensuring a fresher quality product. And it also ties in hand with Cuba's organic industry. They have a huge organic agricultural industry because of the lack of pesticides at a certain time after the embargo. So as far as the benefits to the economy, this is very conceptual in that it incorporates Cuba into a global economy. So the organic agriculture actually fetches the highest dollar on the market. It would create a huge domestic IT sector, enables Cuba to incorporate in a global economy. The infrastructure employs locals. The maintenance employs native Cubans also, utilizes the educated populace that Cuba counts with. So the investment, the original investment that would go into Cuba, it would then employ the workers, and it's a global economy. It would incorporate. So the foreign capital investments would also lessen the dependence on other regional powers. Okay. The original proposed cost would be $12.5 billion, and we proposed like a 15% prudent reserve for change orders, which if anybody's ever dealt with construction, it's going to happen. So it would be an entirely private investment, and the profit would come from industry per pound user fees, and it would also create a foreign demand for this technology. So Cuba could then become an expert and then go ahead and start exporting the technology itself, which is now only manufactured really in very few places. Japan and Germany pretty much have a corner on it, as far as I know. We planned on utilizing the local materials as much as possible. They have some existing lime and aggregate deposits that could be utilized for the concrete. And the return on investment in the country, it would come from the Cuban industry expertise. So this sector could potentially become a major contributor to the economy as a whole, and not just as a benefit to the economy, but they could then export the technology and their expertise in it. So as far as the business plan, the business model provides for corporate profit, whereas it favors a collaborative approach also. Because the technology, it's so incorporated many different aspects, it would have to be a joint venture of different industries like satellite technology from internet giants, superconductors, utilities, government to ensure safety and have oversight of the infrastructure. So in terms of global expansion, Cuba would prove a test run for EM technology, producing local expertise. They begin to produce and service aspects of electromagnetic technology. They could market it very well based on the energy efficient green energy component. This is a big trend right now. Everybody's going to green. We actually have in the United States a sector of the government that's just devoted to green energy. They've converted all kinds of government buildings to low energy light bulbs and doing all kinds of stuff just to go green. Saves energy, saves money. So the potential foreign markets in emerging countries are immense. This could be exported to Mexico, Brazil, Chile, India. All these developing countries have a huge potential for this. Electromagnetics, it really is the future of transportation. It's very little used right now, but the efficiency of it and the speed, it's just amazing. And it's really going to be, eventually, we're all going to go to electromagnetic lines. There actually was a proposed line from South Florida to Orlando, I think, and it just got shot down politically. And it wasn't for any merit at all that it got shot down. It was just political. It was Obama's stimulus money, and Chris, being a Republican, denied it. So it almost happened in Florida. We almost, if there were politics were a little bit different, we might have had a line in Florida. So I would just like to close by saying that I would assert that transportation is a human rights issue. I mean, when a government official has the right to stop you and say, Mr. Fulanito, where are you going today? You have to take these 3 people here and these 2 people, drop them there. This is a human rights issue, you know? Electricity, transportation, I mean, in the Western world, we've come to depend on them as rights, as basic rights of humanity. When I can't get gainful employment because my government's infrastructure is so dilapidated, it does tie into the human rights issues. So, did you want to add anything?
Just basically that the startup profits will go into Cuba, which will then give more money to the people of Cuba, and they will then continue to use the money to boost Cuba into the global economy, which will then create more profits and the whole cyclical flow of money that'll just go into recreating and bettering their lives and bettering the electromagnetics and everything, and just have a continuous flow.